Hey everyone! Okay, no time. No, I wanted to like film in another background because you always see the same background and I want to do a new background, so I did go here. And today I wanted to do a video about my top 5 things that I miss about Korea and about Seoul when I'm back in Germany. Of course, one of my top thing that I miss about Seoul must be the food. Yes, the food. And it's not like you don't get Korean kitchen in Berlin. You get great Korean kitchen in Berlin. It's just like the whole idea about food and food culture and, to be honest, convenience stores. I love convenience stores. When it comes about food culture, I love to go out with like friends and order these dishes, these little dishes, and everybody shares around. And this is not a really common thing in Germany. Everybody orders their own dish and their own like dessert thing. And in Korea, when you order a dessert, they already like count the people that are ordering together and put like these little forks, like 4 little forks or anything around. And in Germany, it's not you order a cake and you get 1 fork, no matter how many like friends are around, which is like always, and then you have to ask for a fork and da da da. It's really not a bad thing in that sense, but it's also like I miss it a lot. That it's just these little things about the sharing culture that I would love to have a little bit more in Germany. And in general, I told you about convenience stores. Like we have here in Berlin, at least, we have something that is called Späti, and it's like I think the most accurate comparison to a convenience store because they're open not that late, because there are also new laws about when they have to close, but at least like after supermarkets close or anything, you can still go down and like buy yourself a Coke and chips and everything. But it's not the same as like going to a Korean Pyeongcham or convenience store, because like honestly what I like the most are these little snacks, like these samgak kimbap. They are so delicious, and you only like here you only get like chocolate bars and crisps and yeah, alcohol and sodas in Späti. So I miss that. I miss to not think about if I want to get ice cream at like 2 a.m. I just go, and like the convenience store is everywhere. The second part that I really miss is the whole idea of outside culture and night culture. Since Koreans work a lot of things happen at night. So there's these late shopping malls, there are these late like busking things when you go in Hongdae and you have all these musicians and cover groups. They are out really late, and you always can find something really interesting. And also the outside culture. In Germany, it's more like everybody has their own apartment and builds this little like home for themselves to feel really comfortable and stay inside and do all the things. And don't get me wrong, I love to stay inside, that's true, but I think this is also the reason I'm really comfortable inside, and maybe too comfortable, and sometimes I want to push myself a little bit to go more outside and anything. So the whole culture of you don't have like the biggest apartment makes you go more outside, and also there are a lot of things where you can feel comfortable. So you go in public cafes with your friends, and even like just to study you go into a public cafe, and these public cafes are really like cozy and everything. You have like electricity to put on your laptop, and you have free Wi-Fi there, so it's almost like home. Only that you have to wear like pants. A person like me that has this little comfort zone about being a loner at home, I think like Korean outside society pushes me more to be active and go outside and do things there than it does in Berlin. Maybe it's just me, But since it's a video about what I miss about Korea, I can totally say this is one thing that I miss a lot. The third thing that I miss a lot, and this might come strange to a lot of people, but it's public restrooms at almost every inner city subway station. And now you might think like, why are you mentioning this? I'm somebody that drinks a lot of water during the day and has to go a lot to TMI, the toilet. And like in Berlin, you have a lot of places in public transportation where you don't have toilets, and if you have toilets, you have to pay a lot of money to go to them, and it's always a hassle to like find a public toilet. So I don't drink as much, I don't feel as hydrated when I know that I am on the go for a long time, and that's not good for my health. So I love public restrooms. They are not always like super clean or anything, but they are taken good care of in comparison to some public restrooms here. They're taken care of well in Korea, and it's amazing that there are so many of them, and that it seems like this is just a normal resource that the public society has to have, whereas I'm feeling here that they want to do like a business out of people just wanting to go to a toilet. My fourth thing that I miss about Korea is the organization of public spaces. Might also sound a little bit strange, but I will explain. What I mean by that is for the most public transportation and how people behave like this, there are always these little movies with cartoon characters that show you how to behave in the subway, and there's always these signs to say like where you can sit and where it's like an elderly seat or a seat for pregnant women. You have this in Berlin too, but I feel people really care about this and the seat will stay empty. This is like one thing. And also when you go in public transportation and in subway stations or train stations, the way people walk, everybody looks out to not bump into somebody else. Berlin and Seoul are cities with many people, but if you look at Seoul, there's so much more people than here. And you would think like, oh well, less people in Berlin, so there's less clutter in train stations or anything, but it's not. Like, maybe again it's just me, but there are so many people like randomly standing in your way or blocking elevators, blocking doors or anything, just because they have their heads in the clouds and don't really watch out for other people. And it's not like everybody is super alert in Korea, but I feel like people know how to be half present at least. Like when you just scooch out a little bit, they see that you maybe want to get out at the station and they scooch to the right, and if not, like a small like "실례합니다" will do the job probably. I heard like a lot of people that live in Seoul, like I think the most of them must be Americans that don't like the way public transports go with ajumas like running for their seats and bumping into everybody, like people bumping into like with their back into like my shoulder or anything. I'm already used to it having to go public transportation every day in Berlin, so I feel like public transportation in Seoul is almost like vacation. Yeah, it is vacation. Maybe you also heard of this thing called Nunchi. As I understand, Nunchi is like people that are aware of their surroundings emotionally, and I also think physically. So I think the whole concept of Nunchi is so somebody that is aware, like this whole mindset exists. I think also people look out for each other. It sounds like really caring, like they look out for each other. Everybody does their own things, but I feel still in comparison to here, people are aware of your presence and know how to react accordingly if you want to do something. And here it's sometimes like people just do their own thing and really have this kind of mindset and not seeing anything that's going on beside them, which makes sometimes going to public spaces and want to go somewhere, going to train stations, really frustrating. And this is something, yeah, I really miss about Seoul. The fifth thing that I miss about Korea is how the cities are organized, like the look of the city, parks and architecture, little nature things in the middle of like big buildings. To be honest, here in Berlin we are also really blessed with nice architecture, a lot of parks, a lot of like green areas. It's just like the look and the difference I like, because Berlin is really flat. All of the buildings are, the highest is maybe like the fourth, and then you have some spaces where you have big buildings, but in general all the buildings are quite flat. And there's so much like dynamic, and Seoul, if you look at it, there's so many big and tall buildings, and then you have these little streets where it's just like two-level houses and everything. Yeah, it seems really dynamic. And Hongdae has all these cute cafes, and they almost build like a whole little house for them, which is really cute. And then you have the whole city hall area with the big buildings, and very close to it you have the Cheonggyecheon River, which is a nature part, and it's always like the contrast of things that makes it super exciting. And there are also a lot of things where like when it gets too cluttered and your mind is too cluttered with the busy life, there's for sure like a little park close by where you can just sit down and relax for a second. This is what I really enjoyed being there, like walking all the streets, and then like for chill out you go to the river in the city, or you go to a park. And yeah, this is something I also really miss, the whole how the city feels and how it looks. So if you like the kind of video, please let me know in the comment section. Also like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like my content. If you want to know more about Seoul, more about Berlin, you can also ask me in the comment section questions that you have. We will see each other quite soon. Have a very nice day. Bye bye.